What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mom's Dinner. My name is Susie Weinrich. Here, we're helping you feel successful at dinner time with simple and delicious recipes. We post a new recipe video every Tuesday, so you can come back and watch something new every week. All right, today I'm gonna share with you how to make a turkey gravy without drippings. Have you ever roasted turkey and then thought, okay, I'm gonna make a gravy with the drippings, but what are the drippings and what is the fat? And do I have enough to make the recipe that I found? And it is so stressful when you're waiting on drippings. So why not make your gravy while the turkey's roasting? It's actually gonna even taste better than using the drippings. We are going to flavor this gravy. Woo, we're gonna flavor this gravy. So stick around today. I'm gonna share with you how to make a turkey gravy without drippings.
All right, we are making good gravy, so you know we have to start with butter. We're gonna use an entire stick of salted butter. That's 8 tablespoons. Get that melting down in a large skillet over about medium heat. Now we're gonna take 1 large yellow onion and get it cut in half, get it cleaned up, and then we're gonna slice it into kind of thinner slices. This is going to start building the flavor for your gravy. So get that added to the pan with that melting butter. And what you want to do is saute these onions over about medium heat for about 15 minutes. Those onions are going to start to caramelize around the edges, get kind of brown, and that is developing mega flavor. You can see how the pan is kind of brown on the bottom. That's okay. That's also flavor. So let it take its time for about 15 minutes, just sitting and sauteing in that butter. Then we're gonna build another layer of flavor. We're gonna add some garlic, but you don't wanna add a ton of garlic, and you don't wanna chop the garlic. We're just trying to add kind of the essence of the garlic, not necessarily, punchy garlic flavor. So we're gonna achieve this by cracking the garlic instead of chopping it and just adding it in whole. It's cracked open, so the essential oils of the garlic are gonna infuse in that butter, and it's gonna be perfect. Now we're gonna add in some fresh herbs. Thyme, rosemary, and sage are perfect herbs to add to your gravy. Of course, add the ones you love. I don't love thyme as much, so I only added 1 sprig. I added 2 sprigs of rosemary and then a whole sprig of sage. Go ahead and add them whole. Don't chop them up because we're actually going to remove them later, and if you chop them up, it's going to be harder to have a really smooth gravy. So let that infuse in the butter for about 10 more minutes. Now we're going to go in with the secret sauce. All right, this is secret sauce. Better than bouillon turkey base. If you've made any soups or sauces from Mom's Dinner, you know we love chicken base and beef base. This is specific to making turkey gravy. It's a turkey base and it tastes like roast turkey. So add 2 teaspoons down into the gravy base. Then you're going to sprinkle in about a heaping 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. Then stir that up so that it mixes in with all the butter. Look at all that flavor. That is pure flavor in that pan. So we're making a roux, and that is basically what's going to thicken your gravy. Now this tool is amazing. It's called a flat whisk, and see how the entire balloon of the whisk fits down into the pan in the sauce. It is perfect for making silky gravy. So I will link a flat whisk down in the description box for you. Now we need about 3.5 cups of turkey stock or turkey broth. You're gonna add just a little bit to the pan and then whisk up all of those bits on the bottom. All that browning that's on the bottom, that is all flavor. Then add the rest of the turkey stock or broth and whisk it up really well in the pan, making sure that you're going from edge to edge of the pan because some of that flour likes to kind of hide in the corners of the pan. Now let that simmer for about 5 minutes until it's perfectly thickened.
Our gravy is looking so good. So we're at the very end, and you can see obviously this gravy is full of bits and pieces, and you don't want that in your gravy. You want your gravy to be smooth and creamy and silky. So what we want to do I'm gonna clear the decks here a little bit. You wanna take a fine mesh sieve of some kind and a large bowl. Place it over that. Do not place your fine mesh sieve in the sink because you will end up putting your gravy down the drain. Don't do that. All right, so then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that gravy and pour it into that fine mesh sieve, and it's going to take all the solids out of your gravy, and you're gonna be left with really silky gravy. And then to make sure that you get every bit out of that gravy, you wanna take either a spatula or your whisk and just whisk those solids around so that you can see that gravy start to come out of the fine mesh sieve. Now the solids that are left in the sieve here, you can just discard. You can just put those right in the trash, not anything that you want to save. Okay, that looks so good. So we know that our gravy is good to go because it is perfectly thick. It is not overly thick, but it coats your spoon beautifully. The next step in your gravy is that you want to taste it. Crucial point of your gravy. You want to make sure that it doesn't need any more salt. Maybe you want to add some cream to make it a little bit richer. Maybe you want more of that sage flavoring. You could sprinkle in a little bit of dried sage or poultry seasoning. But let's give it a try here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It tastes like roast turkey. Oh, and the caramelized flavor from those caramelized onions. But then you have those herby flavors from the sage and the rosemary and the thyme. You guys. Ooh, you know what I am gonna add to mine is a little bit of black pepper. Just a pinch to brighten up those flavors. And mine is ready. Ooh. Okay, so when you buy your turkey stock, generally you're gonna probably buy it in one of those containers that you pour out of. That's usually a 4-cup container. We're using about 3.5 cups of that in here. So that leaves you with about a 1/2 cup of turkey stock. Now, if you want to make this ahead, you can pop it in the fridge. It will definitely congeal into like jelly in the fridge. But what you want to do then is just put it over heat, maybe add a little bit of that extra broth, whisk it up, good to go. If you don't have extra broth, add a little chicken broth, you could even add water and then add a little more flavoring, or you could add like a 1/2 or a cream. If you've made your gravy and you feel like it's a little thin for what you're looking for, what you want to do is just keep simmering it on low heat, and that will start to evaporate some of that liquid, some of the water content, and help it thicken up. The other option is to make what's called a cornstarch slurry. And while your gravy is simmering, it's important that it is bubbling a little bit, that it's simmering. Mix together 1 tablespoon of cool water and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Mix it up really good and then pour it into the gravy while it's simmering, and that should thicken it up perfectly. Now, if you taste your gravy and you feel like it got a little bit too salty, then you want to dilute it a little bit. The first option is, of course, to add some more turkey stock or chicken stock. That may add to the saltiness unless you have a reduced sodium stock that you can use. You could also add a little bit of water to dilute everything. The other option is to add some milk, some cream, some 1/2. That dairy content will help to reduce the saltiness of your gravy. All in all, this gravy is absolutely delicious, and I really hope you make it for your holiday table or the next time you have mashed potatoes or a roast poultry that you need a little gravy for. And I hope that this turkey gravy without drippings helps you feel like a success in your kitchen. Join me next week for another recipe video. See ya.